Data protection, privacy, and freedom of information. In this presentation, we will define and discuss the data protection, privacy, and freedom of information. Before we proceed, let's know about the connected term, which is the personal data. So, personal data defines as any information that is stored by individual to be identified that relates to private, professionals, or public life. For example, credit card or personal number, account data, appearance, and address. What is data protection? Data protection refers to the practices, safeguards, and binding rules put in place to protect your personal information and ensure that you remain in control of it. In short, you should be able to decide whether or not you want to share some information, who has access to it, for how long, for what reason, and be able to modify some of this information and more. In short, data protection is the process that you're able to secure or protect some personal information you stored and to restrict other peoples who can access your personal information. Governments also have a security interest in ensuring the protection of personal data. In 2015, criminals stole 21.5 million records from the U.S. Office of the Personnel Management that contained the highly sensitive personal data of federal employees and their family members. Because of the issues about data protection, which a lot of criminals who stole information, the government should be aware to the importance of data protections around the globe. Since in 2015, there are 21.5 million records stolen, those government provide security interest in able to secure personal data, also to limit this kind of crime. Why do we need data protection law? There are two main reasons that government should pursue comprehensive data protection frameworks. Laws need to be updated to address today's reality. Ever since the internet was created, people have been sharing more and more of their personal information online. In many countries, privacy rules exist and remain important to help protect people's information and human rights, but they are not adapted to suit the challenges of today's connected world. Corporate and self-regulation is not working to protect our data. Around the world, companies and other entities that collect people's data have long advocated for regulation of privacy and data protection not through binding frameworks but rather through self or co-regulation mechanisms that offer them greater flexibility. However, despite several attempts, we have yet to see examples of non-binding regimes that are positive for user rights or indeed for business as well as a whole. Importance of data protection. Protect from fraudulent activities, hacking, phishing, and identity theft, ensuring that data can be restored after any corruption occurs. Increase the amount of data created and stored continuously rise at unprecedented rates. All in all, data protection is important from organizations since it can use for safeguarding sensitive data and restore corrupted data. The data safety will increase the prevention against illegal activities. Any organizations that wants to work effectively need to ensure the safety of their information by implementing a data protection plan.
Data privacy, also called information privacy, is an aspect of data protection that addresses the proper storage, access, retention, immutability, and security of sensitive data. So, data privacy is the right of people to have control over how their personal information is collected and used also to maintain the sensitive data safe from any threat of internet world. Data privacy is typically associated with the proper handling of personal data or personally identity information such as names, addresses, social security numbers, and credit card numbers. Data privacy is related to personal handling of personal data or personal identifiable information because if the user follow the guidelines about proper handling, the data will be safe in accordance to information privacy. It should be important because this will remain your personal data protected and remain private. Data privacy is a subset of a broader data protection concept. It includes traditional data protection such as data backups and disaster recovery considerations and data security. Data privacy is connected to the data protection simplified because in the way of protecting user data and sensitive information is a first step to keeping user data private. The goal of data protection is to ensure the continued privacy and security of sensitive business data while maintaining the availability, consistency, and immutability of that data. Why data privacy is important? Data is used for a range of business reasons including the following: to identify customers, understand their needs, and provide goods and services to them; to understand the business infrastructure, facilities, and human behaviors based on data from networks and devices; to glean insight from databases and data source, and to train machine learning and AI system. The importance of data privacy is directly related to the business value of data. The evolving data economy is driving businesses of all sizes to collect and store more data from more sources than ever before. Data privacy is a discipline intended to keep data safe against improper access, theft, or loss. It's vital to keep data confidential and secure by exercising sound data management and preventing unauthorized access that might result in data loss, alternation, or theft. For individuals, the exposure of personal data might lead to improper account charge, private intrusion, or identity theft. For businesses, unauthorized access to sensitive data can expose intellectual property, trade secrets, and confidential communications. It can also adversely affect the outcome of data analytics. Data privacy lapses also referred to as data breaches can have a serious effect of all parties involved. Individuals affected by a data breach may find improper financial and credit activity in their name, compromise social media accounts, and other issues. May pay significant regulatory consequences such as fines, lawsuits, and irreparable damage to their brand and reputations. With the integrity of its data compromised, a business may not be able to trust its data and need a response plan. Data privacy versus data security. Data privacy focuses on issues related to collecting, storing, and retaining data, as well as data transfers within applicable regulation and laws such as GDPR and HIPAA. Data security is the protection of data against unauthorized access, loss, or corruption throughout the data lifecycle. Data security can involve processes and practices along with a variety of tools such as encryption, hashing, and tokenization to guard data at rest and in motion.
What are the challenges of data privacy? Data privacy isn't easy or automatic, and many businesses struggle to meet requirements to counter threat and ever-changing regulatory and security landscape. Some of the biggest data privacy challenges include the following. Privacy is an afterthought. Many businesses deal with data privacy long after implementing the business model, and IT infrastructure leaving business and technology leaders scramble to understand the address complex requirements. Data should be treated as the fundamental business goal, which policies, training, tools, and IT infrastructure design to meet privacy needs from the ground up. For data visibility, the old axiom, you can't manage what you can't see, applies to data privacy. Organizations need clear understanding what data is present, its level, its sensitivity, and where it's located. Only then can business make decisions about security and data privacy. The third one is the too much data. Too much data is the business can be responsible for the managing petabytes of data compromising various files, database, and is stored located across the storage device and cloud repositories. It's easy to lose track of the data. Allowing sensitive content is include security, privacy, and retention guidance. A business must have the right tools and policies to manage enormous and growing data volumes. More isn't always better. Businesses are starting to understand the data must have context and value. Retaining all data forever is expensive, and present storage protection, attack, and legal discovery risk. Modern business must set balanced data retention policies about the amount of data collected. Its value to a business what constitute reasonable retention needs. Too many devices. Too many devices. A modern business must embrace remote access, wireless, bring your own device, IoT, smart device, and other technologies. With all these moving pieces, it's become harder to manage those devices while controlling data storage and access. Data privacy is the complex environment demand careful infrastructure management, strong access control, comprehensive monitoring, and well-considered data governance policies. And the last is the too many regulation. Too many regulation is a given business may subject data privacy regulation at the various levels, including federal, state, province, and industry. An enterprise that does business in another state, province, or country and then subject those prevailing control as well. New control appear regularly and they can change over time. This presents a vast, complex, and fluid regulatory landscape. What are the benefits of data privacy compliance? Proper data privacy compliance yield four major benefits for the business include lower storage costs. Lower storage costs, storing all data forever can be costly and risky. Companies that make a rational decision about what data collect and store and implement the minimum retention time for the data. Reduce cost primary and backup storage. The second one is better data use. Data is sensitive. A business making better data collection and retention decision can benefit from timely and better quality data, which translate into more accurate and relevant analytical result. Better business reputation and brand. The reputation of the business can be as important as its product or service. A business that successfully adopts and adheres all data privacy practice can demonstrate care for the customer data and data privacy, leading to better reputation and storage brand. Conversely, a business that experiences a major data breach can suffer irreparable damage to its reputation and brand. The lastly is regulatory compliance. Proper data privacy compliance can protect a business from the litigation and fines that come with data privacy breaches.
Tips to protect data privacy. There are countless guidelines and tips that can apply to data privacy. For individuals, data privacy can be reinforced with safeguards in action, such as the following. Select strong passwords and change them frequently. Use multi-factor authentication or MFA or biometric identification for important accounts. Don't click links and buttons within emails. Avoid providing PII that are necessary or not required. Use malware tools and keep those tools updated. And use only trusted apps and websites. For businesses, privacy principles and guidelines are more extensive and complex, but they can include the following tactics. Collect as little data as possible to accomplish a business task. Require strong authentication in MFA, such as user password or app credential for APIs. Understand data sources. Use it in storage location. Employ access monitoring and logging to track data access. Use encryption and other security technologies to predict data at rest and in motion. Backup data and test restoration. Ensure any third-party storage providers, such as cloud storage providers, share data privacy requirements and techniques. And regularly educate
employees, partners, and customer about data privacy guidelines. The difference between data protection and data privacy. The term data protection and data privacy are often used interchangeably, but there is an important difference between the two. Data privacy defines who has access to data. Data protection provides tools and policies to actually restrict accessing the data. What is freedom of information? Act 2000, the Freedom of Information provides public access to information held by public authorities. Public authorities include government departments, local authorities, the NHS, states, schools, and police forces. It refers to the right of the people to information on matters of public concern. It is the right of every citizen to access official records, documents and papers pertaining official acts, transaction or decision, as well as government research, data use as basis for policy development. Public authorities are obliged to publish certain information about their activities, and the member of the public are entitled to request information from public authorities.
Principle behind Freedom of Information Act. Number 1. Everybody has a right to access official information. Disclosure of information should be the default. Example, the information should be kept private only when there is good reason and it is permitted by the Act. Number 2. An applicant does not need to give a reason for wanting the information. Number 3. You must treat all requests for information equally, except under the circumstances relating offensive requests and personal data. Example, the information someone can get under the Act should not be affected by who they are. Number 4. You should only disclose information under the Act if you should disclose into the anyone else who asks. Example, you should consider any information you release under the Act as if it were being released to the world at large. Obligation under the Freedom of Information. We have two main obligations under the Act most. Publish certain information for activity. Information need to for activity to publish, but the Freedom of Information requires public authority to follow the publication approval by the Information Commissioner Office, ICO. Number 2. Respond to requests for information. Anyone has a right to request information through public authority, but there are also two separate duties when responding to this request. First, is it tell the applicant whether you hold any information falling within the scope of the request, and second, is that true provide an information. How Freedom of Information accept data protection. When a person make a request for their own information, this is a data protection subject access request. When someone make request for information that includes someone else's personal data. How does the Freedom of Information Act work alongside other law? The Freedom of Information Act may work alongside other laws. Some of the exceptions in the Act that allow public authorities to withhold information use principle from common law. For example, the Section 41 exception refers to the law of confidence.
In conclusion, data protection is important for safeguarding and protecting personal information against internet crime. This will help to prevent among the factors of illegal activities from internet, such as hacking, phishing, and identity theft. Data privacy are the users only can access sensitive personal information. Enable our individual data remains private. We should follow these tips. Select strong passwords and change them frequently. Use multi-factor authentications or biometric identifications for important accounts. Don't click links and buttons within emails. Avoid providing personal identity information that's unnecessary or not required. Use malware tools and keep those tools updated. And use only trusted apps and websites. Data protections was connected to data privacy because Safeguarding your personal information will remain it on private. In other words, protecting your personal information will result of private information. The Freedom of Information Act 2000 is about the public access of information from public authorities. Every citizen has a right to ask official records, documents, and papers pertaining to official acts, transactions, or decisions, as well as to government research, data use as basis of policy development. That's all. Thank you.